Y'all, I'm back in my city. I know where the fuck I'm at now. I don't need a GPS to take me to the simplest places. And hell, everything is fairly walking distance. Oh goodness, y'all, that has been quite the adventure. And it's gonna last me for a little while. Oh my gosh, I have so much to tell y'all. And there were ups and there were downs, but overall, bruh, it was everything I asked for. And I'm just being for real. That experience was everything I have asked for. And it's like I forgot that I asked for it or something. But I most definitely asked for it all. Not like for people to be touching me all kind of way, but just when I tell y'all the rest of the story, you will get it. Alright. Okay, y'all. So it's been a few days now since I've come back from where I was. And y'all, like, I don't know where to start. Things are great. I'm gonna just say that. Things are great. Hold on. Okay, so y'all, it's been a few days and that was some adventure. That was some experience. And I have to just be honest. Man, just have no idea where to start, but let's start here. Ever since I came back, these words have been like coming through my head. They've been just running through my head. And I really believe this. There was a part of me that died on that highway when I was walking for miles and miles. Okay, so I think I'm missing something. Okay, yeah. So I'm jumping the gun right now. I'm realizing I didn't even tell y'all this part for real. So I hitchhiked for the first time in my life. That was something. Okay, so listen. While I was at the place I was at, y'all know about my scooter. The belt popped on it. So I had got help from this guy that really, he had other plans. He had a whole nother agenda, honey. And if you want to know, just click on the video before this one. Anyway, so I was miles away from the nearest store. So anyway, I finally decided to leave to go get me something to eat. Because, you know, my vehicle not working on me had, you know, kind of set my plans back a bit on me. But hey, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. So my head trying to hurt all of a sudden, but we good. Okay, I had to make some room real quick. So anyway, with that being said, so I tried to walk to like the nearest store, which would have been miles, at least 5 miles, y'all. This older white guy, he had stopped and gave me a ride. Now, don't get me wrong, honey. I know that my choices were questionable. And I know that getting in that car with that man was questionable. I know what people say, the stories and all that. I also trust that there are people that actually won't do that, even if they think it. Not everybody's gonna do that, but and like I said to that mechanic guy, I know that it might be naive of me to come with you, but it's also me choosing not to live my life in fear, you know. Anyway, so I got in the car with that man, and let me just say, he didn't do anything that I did not already expect. If anything, him not touching me at all was the least expected thing. You know what I'm saying? So that white guy, he didn't touch me. He was trying, like, he was saying things, like, you know, he was saying inappropriate things. But yeah. Anyway, that was uncomfortable. And anyway, I left because I suddenly felt unsafe. And I just trusted my intuition. Simple as that. So while I was at my place, somebody else got land like near me, and like they don't live over there, but they came over there with all these kids, and they were on their four-wheelers and stuff riding around. Cool. And yeah, they were also white. We are in the deep country, so well, we were anyway. And that's just to put into context, y'all. I don't even like... Anyway. So, the little kids, like the younger ones, they kept on coming to bother my tent and bother my stuff. Like, not all of them, just these two. I think they were twins. But I didn't get mad or nothing. I was just in my tent, and I guess they were just trying to get a little reaction out of me. I don't know. They were throwing things. The little boy was. And I don't have kids, but I hear about kids. You know what I'm saying? So they were kids. So I wasn't trying to overthink the situation. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the little boy kept throwing things at my solar panel. And that's when I came out my tent. I didn't say anything. They just was running. You know what I'm saying? That's why I knew they were just kids, just being kids. Like, they were running around and all that. But then, one of the older kids, because they were riding around repeatedly, one of the older kids, because they've been being respectful all day. Like, I had seen some of the parents and all that, like, they just smiling, whatever. One of the older kids was riding by, and he said something, but I heard him say the N-word. And it was only that once. And also, he didn't say it directly to me. He just, like, I think he said, "Hey, nigga," and then, like, was riding off or something like that. And I didn't think that was funny at all. And I'm still trying to have compassion, because the older people didn't seem like they were racist or anything like that. The kids didn't even seem like they were racist. I just think, kids be in school around other kids, and he probably talked like that with his friends. Some black friends be like, "I don't care if you say it," and that's fine or whatever. But that same child that's saying it comfortably around them gonna go around other black people that don't know him, and it could be offensive. You feel me? Like, that just simply is it. And yeah, that made me uncomfortable when I heard that. But I tried to brush it off. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the dad, he came around and, just chatted up with me a bit, just introducing himself and whatnot. And, he seemed like a pleasant person, you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't seem weird, but you don't always know. But anyway, and he stopped by a few times, like a couple of times to, I guess get a feel of who I am or whatever. But anyway, and he also before they left, he had left me with some food, some chicken. And because he knew I needed me some food too, because the man that picked me up was his uncle. Coincidentally enough, the man picked me up was his uncle. So he let me know that it was his nephew that had the kids that were riding around. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Because our plots is literally back to back, and there's so many trees I couldn't see them, but I knew they were over there. I could hear them, So anyway, and just me being there by myself and no weapons is just, and them knowing exactly where I was, and all that. Yeah. So, um, I had already spent the night there before anybody knew I was there. Like, it felt more comfortable when nobody knew I was right there. You know what I'm saying? So just the fact that all of them knew I was right there was enough for me to not feel like I wanted to be there. You know what I'm saying? I really felt like it was nobody gonna be, like, right there. But they were just riding around. All they just see me all day. And honestly, if I had my tent a little more ducked off, I probably would have stayed the night. You know what I'm saying? They probably wouldn't even have seen me or even worried about me at all. You know what I'm saying? But I was right there. They was, like, able to see me as they was riding by. But yeah, what else? They left, but they left before nightfall. But as it was getting later, I kept trying to convince myself to stay, like, because I only wanted to, just stay till the morning. But I was like, no, like, I just didn't want to. Like, you already hearing the sounds of the wind and whatever. I didn't want to put myself through that situation of just wondering, what if somebody come back? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I just was like, and then after, because the man that picked me up, I didn't know at first that they was, over there. So, like, now you know where I'm at. And he was already making, like, advances at me. So that was really, Oh, and another thing. Okay. At some point, I heard, this is, like, pretty sick, too. And I'm really glad that I left, because somebody probably would have came back. Who the fuck knows? Probably did. Anyway. I heard one of the younger boys, he had to be a kid. He sounded like a kid. It's so gross. I don't even want to say this shit. But, and I could hear them. They were riding by, but I would hear them stop right by my tent. And, I heard one of the boys, one of them said, there's a woman in there. And, or that's that woman's tent. I saw her. Because they saw me walking, trying to go to the store or whatever. And another one was like, I'm horny. What type of shit is that? That really sickened me too. That sickened me too. I didn't know what the fuck to say. So anyway, I went on ahead. And just before anybody tried to say anything, nowhere in the world is it 100% safe, okay? You gonna sit up here and live your life in fear if you gonna say, oh, I ain't going here because of that, I ain't going never because of that. Honey, it's danger everywhere. As soon as you walk out the door, you ain't even got to leave your house for danger. Ain't y'all heard about that sinkhole that swallowed a manhole in his bed? Please miss me with the foolishness, okay? Have a little bit of adventure, okay? Anyway, just put that out there. Anyway, I didn't feel comfortable staying the night, so when night actually hit, because I could have had left, but I had then decided while it was nighttime that I wanted to leave. So anyway, y'all, that whole experience, just, bro, the hitchhiking, never thought. Now I thought of it before, but I never really knew that I would be hitchhiking one day and it would be that day. Y'all, I don't know how many miles I walked, but I walked some miles. Y'all, I promise you, it had to be over 5 miles. I don't even know how many miles. I don't think it was 10 miles. But it was damn near close if it wasn't. And if it was over 10 miles, I'm shocked. Because, honey, my body was hurting. And let me tell you, I didn't actually start putting my thumb out to hitchhike until I was a good ways deep. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I could have been got a ride somewhere, but when I first started to put my thumb out, people kept passing me by, and it was night now. It was the middle of the night. I get it. Not everybody want to stop. Anyway, y'all, I was going down this highway, and somebody finally stopped for me. Somebody finally stopped. And all I know is, bro, I was just so grateful that they stopped for me. I was just so grateful. My body just been so tired. And at that point, I was just trying to get to the Greyhound bus station. Because I could have got an Uber, but the Uber... I kept walking, too, because if I had got an Uber to my location, it would have been too much money, you know. So I was walking to get closer to the Greyhound bus station so I can get a cheaper Uber to get there. So anyway, the people that stopped for me, bless them, thank God for them. The people that stopped for me was a married couple, older couple at that. I had asked them if they could take me to the Greyhound bus station or to the nearest 24-hour gas station. And that gas station they took me to. And guess what, y'all? I already knew that this was a long distance. But I already knew it was a long distance just by walking. But that drive, first of all, I was so grateful for that ride. I was able to sit and rest for a decent amount of time. Because the road I was on, the distance I was going, that particular road was 40 miles. Listen here. I knew it was far. I already knew I could see how long it said it was going to take me to get in, whatever. But actually being in it, child, that's different. Actually being in it, like, and then I had to, y'all, I'm not trying to complain because I actually enjoy, listen, I've been needing adventure in my life. I've been needing to just leave Savannah and do something, be somewhere other than in the same cycle. You know what I'm saying? And y'all, something about Florida. Boy, I ain't never seen such a pretty sky. And I noticed it as soon as I got to Florida, the sparkly stars in the sky was just so many. Like, of course I see them in Savannah, but in Florida it's different. It's different, honey. And when I was walking, all I could do was just look at the sky, and like, it was pitch black almost everywhere because, you know, it was the country. It was some street light somewhere, and I had me a flashlight, so that's good. It was a good flashlight. Y'all, that was an experience, I'm telling you. So, yeah, I was walking, and I love to walk. I walk on the regular, you know what I'm saying? I walk just to walk. I ain't never had walk like that, though. I mean it. I ain't never had walk like that, y'all. And I had on a backpack, too. It filled with whatever I could fill it with, and I had a little bag in my hand. Y'all, that was an adventure. And I feel like a part of me died on that road or somewhere on that highway, man. I'm serious. Like, I experienced something I never experienced before. I was hours away, hundreds of miles away from my family. Of course, I could have called them, but I had to do it myself. With God, of course, it's just I had to. It was something I had to do. Like, I needed to know that I could take care of myself, that I could do it on my own, I suppose. I didn't want to feel like I had failed, that I'm calling mommy now to pick me up. I'm calling granddaddy now to help me pick me up. I prayed and I talked to God, honey. I trusted that God was going to bring me somebody else. Y'all, people kept passing by. Some people looked like they was going to slow down, but they just kept going. But these folk, and I seen people turn around before I even started hitchhiking and started open thumb. Before I even did that, I seen at least 2 cars like turn around, and it looked like they was about to ask me if I needed a ride, but they kept going, so whatever. But that particular car, when they turned around, I was hitchhiking at that point. They turned around. I was still wondering, but I pretty much knew in my heart that they was coming back for me. Bro, that ride was at least 20 minutes. Imagine the walk. That was a nice ride. He took me on to that gas station and got me some water. I had needed some water too, y'all. I ain't had no water. And I left some stuff back at the campsite. So I got water at the campsite, a jug of water. I couldn't have been carrying that all the way. But still, like, you know, wasn't nothing open. Wasn't no stores. And the stores I did pass, they was closed. But y'all, when I finally got a ride, my body, y'all, I was feeling it in my body. And another thing, this is something I had almost missed out. Before I even got to the point of hitchhiking, because, I had finally made it to the main road. The distance I walked from my spot to the main highway that distance alone was at least 5 to 6 miles. That's what I'm saying. And then the main road, 17, I walked up that road maybe another mile. So it was less than 10 miles. I know it was less than 10 miles. Had to be. Anyway, I had oh yeah, before I went to walk it up 17, I had took a break at that closed gas station. And y'all, I had to put my backpack on the ground, found myself trying to take a nap on the ground, child. And my thing is, you just have a different perspective of everything, y'all. You have a different perspective when it comes to everything. Like when you see people sleeping on the ground, like not everybody homeless. Some people just traveling. Some people just choosing to do it. I don't fucking know. Some people are homeless, but it's a mindset. Honestly, it's a mindset. But I didn't want to stay there for too long. I wanted to get up and just keep going. So I did take a little break, like at least 15 minutes. I think I dozed off too. I think I did try to go to sleep, but I just wanted to keep going. So I picked up my stuff and I just kept walking. And my body, y'all, just had been aching. So anyway, I was walking, hitchhiking. Nobody was stopping for me until that one car, and we rode, and I got there. So I finally was able to get me an Uber from that gas station. And the Greyhound bus station, mind you, it's still the middle of the night, so it was hours until they even opened. The dude dropped me off to the bus station, and I went on ahead, and I had put my backpack on that ground. I put my money close to me, and I took my ass to sleep on that motherfucking ground. And you know something else? I didn't give hardly a damn what anybody thought of me. I know I look like a homeless person. Listen, it was other people around me too sleeping on the ground. Men. Yeah, I felt fine though. I'm safe out here, okay? Straight up. Those men, it was men sleeping on the ground. Like, and I'm looking at them, even me, my perspective, a person that has lived in a van choosing it, I still see people as being homeless and whatnot too. Like, I don't know their situation, you know. But anyway, they would sleep on the ground. I was sleeping on the ground too. Sure was. And when they finally opened, I think I was sleeping there at least 4 or 5 hours, something like that. And y'all, I ain't tell my family that. I finally got my bus ticket and came home to Savannah. Ain't told them nothing about my adventures. Y'all, I done been groped. I done hitchhiked. Oh my goodness, y'all. It's just the realization of it all. Like, I didn't know how I was gonna make it. I just trusted in God, y'all. And when I made it home to Savannah, I had still walked. I had walked from the bus station to my mama's house. Cause I didn't want to ask her to come pick me up. I didn't want to ask him where I'm coming from and all that. For all she know, I was in my van all weekend in Savannah. For all anybody know, I didn't even tell my granddaddy I went to Florida. I had asked him if he'd give me a ride, but I never did ask him to. I asked him before I needed the ride, you know what I'm saying? But I never did ask him to take me because he had already looked at me fool up when I asked him the first time. So I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. I did. And I figured my way back too. Y'all. That was an experience. That was something to live for. That was something to remember. And I'm going to always remember that. And also, I just was thinking about how I would do things differently, But I just got on here to share that. And that just made me think about a phrase that I had said the other day. You have to be willing to die to feel worthy of living. I truly believe I risked my life out there. Y'all, if you caught the first video, you know how I got to Florida, right? I rode my moped 8 hours. You can call it crazy. I know what the fuck it looked like. I know how the fuck it sound. But if there's a will, there is a way. If you determine, you're gonna do that motherfucking thing. Y'all, it's been a few days now since I've come back, and my body still feels the effects of all that walking. It has worn off a bit. I ain't never walked so much in my life. And just that was something else. That was something. But I'm gonna leave it at that. That was definitely a journey to remember, the time of my life. And as I was making it home, I just said to myself, bro, that's a good enough adventure for me for a while. I'm good for right now. I'm just ready to do other things, just take care of business or whatever. And another adventure awaits at some other point. But right now, that was enough adventure for me for right now. But yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. I thank God that we are here and that I made it. I'm glad, and I thank God y'all made it. What is life without a little adventure? A little risk? Risque. Okay, y'all do y'all thing and be blessed. Do y'all thing straight up.